So you don't think you can do art? Are you sure? How would you like to learn how to transfer images into your artwork? Hi, my name is Gail Hodgson. Welcome to my channel, and what we're going to do today is I'm going to do some image transfers. So we're going to learn today how to do two different image transfers. One's just going to be with the transfer oil and one with a gel paste. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey with chalk paint and how I learned some of these techniques. Okay, so let's just get right to it. And here's my tape. This is such a cool technique because you can take, a photocopied image, and we're going to transfer the ink right into the artwork or whatever substrate you have. And with this one, we're going to use just some simple little images and this transfer oil. And what it does is it causes the ink to loosen up, and when we rub it, the image, it goes onto the artwork. So it's really quite a fun technique because you can use any laser photocopy to do it. And which it's cool too because you can take, photographs. You can take a laser photocopy of it, and you can use photographs in your artwork of even your family members and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get the first part started here. This is just a small little project just to show you how this all works. And how I learned these things were, these techniques is several years ago. I think it was like 2015 or so. I was really interested in furniture flipping and upcycling furniture, and as part of my art world. And I just loved that whole concept. And right about that time was when chalk paint was, and shabby chic look and all that kind of stuff was in style. Anyway, I learned from some really cool people that were selling the chalk paint and cottage paint, and the whole line of their techniques of using image transfers and stuff, because image transfers, we used it on the furniture too, like on a tabletop or cabinet doors or whatever, and it just like elevated the design kind of a thing. And it still had a rustic, cool look to it, like a vintage look. So that was really cool. And for this for using this transfer oil, you just have to put it on and just let it dry a little bit before you start putting it down and rubbing it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And here's my fancy tool for doing that. This works the best because it sort of scrapes it. So basically, this chemical is letting this ink become loose, and I'm rubbing it onto the substrate. And I've taped it in place so that you can check it, see how it's going. Sometimes it takes a little while to... I find the two that it depends on the image, whether it comes out easy or you sort of have to rub it a little harder. Yes, so I really loved furniture flipping and upcycling, and I got involved with it to the point where I was teaching the classes. I learned how to do all of this and then taught the classes, so that was really cool. And in the end of the video today, we'll show you some of the projects that I've done where I've flipped stuff around, and it's really satisfying because you take this old unwanted piece of furniture and transform it into something beautiful and relevant for people who like that style of art, of decor. So that's really nice. And it's also like a win-win-win, like old furniture that's maybe the wood's not that great or whatever, and it's going to head to the landfill because nobody, it's unwanted, and you can turn it into something beautiful. And, and an affordable price, and with the chalk paint and stuff like that. Yes, you are painting over wood, but a lot of times when there was something that was really beautiful wood, I wouldn't paint over it. But then again, there's a lot of stuff that was really glossy, orangey red wood stuff that, I've had customers who said, well, I just can't fit this into my decor. Well, they hired me to paint it and transform it, and then they had the piece that they got to keep it in their decor. So that was really nice. So see how this is starting to show. Now this is interesting. I think this is because this is an older photocopy I've had for a while, but usually it comes out a lot faster than that. It's making me work hard today on this. And I also really like the way this comes out. It's not crystal clear, it's like etched looking, like vintage looking, rustic. I really like that. I use this exact technique on a really cool antique round table, and I did Roman numeral clock face over the whole table, and it turned out really amazing. Ooh, pretty. See how it's starting to show through really well? And I like that, the way it looks sort of faded and stuff too. I love that look. I think I'm gonna end it there. My little bee design. Cool, and then the other thing is you can use, this technique is really cool for doing signs and quotes that you want. You see all those, personalized signs with things that you want to look at or mean something to you, like even home sweet home or whatever. That's a typical one, but you can do something really personalized this way. You just have to make sure that you are doing the text backwards, because we put the oil on this side, and then you have to rub the ink out here, and it has to be backwards for text. Images, well, they can be whatever way. But I just want to show you the text part too. I always put the piece, when I'm putting the oil on a napkin or something, just because it can sometimes come out onto the surface. And you don't want to do it right on your artwork either. You want to do it off your artwork and then put it on. Yes, so I actually really loved doing the upcycling, and I still do it. There's some really cool pieces. I even have some in my studio here too. But I've sold a lot, and it's very satisfying to transform, especially an unwanted piece, and it's going to go to the landfill, and people can reuse it. And usually you can do it. The chalk paint was so attractive because it was easy to use, because you didn't really have to prime a lot, especially when you're doing the distressed edges and stuff on the furniture. Again, we'll see some pictures of that at the end. It was just, non-toxic paint, the chalk paint, and it was easy to apply, and then you could enhance it with image transfers and stuff like that. So it was really kind of like artwork with furniture. It was really fun. Okay, so I'm going to show you this text now on here. And then you'll see how you can do personalized signs and stuff like that this way. And then, of course, you always tape it down so you can check it. That's coming out really nicely. And when you just keep re-rubbing it, it sort of gets darker and clearer. More ink comes out. Nice. Look at that. I love that. And of course, you can imagine this in a big sign or a big piece of furniture on the cabinet doors of a special, feature piece in your dining room or whatever. And I just wanted to show you this sign that I did. And this is all with this exact technique of image transfer. So this is this. And this means something to me because it reminds me to breathe and relax and let go. And this is all this exact technique. And this was fun too because it was like some kind of piece of furniture. I can't even remember. It was like a little tabletop or something. And it got transformed into this. Love it. Okay, so that was the transfer oil technique. And now I'm going to show you the gel technique. And I would use the gel technique for more colored images. So we're going to use this little bird today, just a piece of wood that's been chalk painted with cottage white, the color cottage white. Don't need this anymore, and I need this gel. This is the best gel to use, golden soft gel matte for this technique. And it's very, very simple. So you have your laser photocopy image. Then you're just going to paint the gel over your surface area. And this is easy because it's almost the same size as the image, but I would sort of mark it off if I had a big surface and a smaller image. Anyway, and of course you put face down, and then you just start rubbing from the inside the middle, rubbing out to the edges. I mean, that's pretty simple. And the only thing about this technique is you do have to let it dry for a while, for several hours. So once you get this all rubbed down, you have to let it dry. And what I've done is I've prepared one ahead of time so that it's dry and I could show you the next step. And that's this one. So it's the same bird. And what we have to do next is we have to, in this case with the gel, you're going to remove the paper. So we're going to wet the paper, and then it's a bit of a painstaking process because you have to rub the paper away. There's no other way to do it. Imagine any image that you want can be put on any surface. So we're just rubbing paper off, basically. And you do have to do it in a few stages. I've done some really amazing projects with, you could get, if you're doing cabinet doors or whatever, you just keep using the same image on each door to match. Just some amazing stuff. And the thing is this kind of dries a bit, and there's still going to be paper on it, so you kind of still keep going by wetting it again in layers and rubbing more off. Yes, upcycling and transforming furniture is really a labor of love, and it just seems like a no-brainer to me to redo the furniture and keep it affordable for people to buy. And it's, fresh looking, even though it's it's used furniture, but it's not really, because when you've transformed it, it's new again. Okay. Now this will dry, and there'll probably still be a little bit of a foggy paper look, so I would just do this again, but it's good enough to the point where you can see the results. And that's this we did today. This is the outcome of it. Cool. And thank you for joining me today and watching. And the things you can use this for are your own, you could do your own personalized sign, your own personal projects. You could use your own family photos and do, a memorial piece. There's so many things you could do with this. It's amazing. Hope I inspired you. Thank you. And if you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe to the channel.